So how is blockchain relevant to today's enterprises? So organizations today don't operate in a vacuum. A lot of the organizations today, as we know, are highly global. They're connected. They need to service customers at any location, at any time, but with a high degree of security, privacy, and trust. Business networks are becoming more decentralized, with an increased need to streamline interactions while maintaining appropriate levels of integrity, transparency, resiliency, and even interoperability. There's also a great need for organizations to innovate and collaborate, or they do risk being left behind.
Yeah, what we're seeing as well is that because this is a very early enterprise, like use cases are continuing to evolve, right? As the technology evolves. We're seeing a trend where permission and consortium joining forces with permissionless networks, right? Where the line is a little fuzzy between both of the different networks. There are use cases like finance, healthcare, supply chains, logistics, and energy that which verticals are going to be disrupted by this technology. We're also seeing a very interesting part where new business models are emerging. And what's going to be super interesting is to see how the assets ownership and representation changes, right? How humans interact and exchange information between themselves.
What are some of the key technology advancements emerging in blockchain?
Yeah, we're seeing that blockchains in general have some sort of like constraints, right, in terms of capabilities. We're seeing this development of layer 2 capabilities like side channels and other features that can improve the performance of blockchain networks and other trade-offs that these networks have, right? This includes increased volumes, lower costs, and fastest transaction finality, right? The execution, the transaction execution is shifted to a secondary network, right? But final settlement occurs again in the main chain.
Yeah, that's very true. And we're also seeing advancements in DLT structures, different smart contract capabilities, even the consensus algorithms beyond what people will normally hear of, proof of work. All of those areas are really advancing in order to improve performance. These performance improvements are possible while also maintaining security, preventing different types of attacks, ensuring that the transactions are tamper resistant. And just in general, there's also this notion of reducing the overall environmental footprint. So we're definitely seeing a lot of different technology advancements when it comes to blockchain technology. How does blockchain help address the challenges organizations are facing for individual identity and data privacy? Well, because of individual or even regulatory requirements, the management of an individual's identity, along with the associated data, is really becoming a priority for organizations. The way identity is managed needs to change, including putting identity back in the hands of the individual. Self-sovereign identity, along with related concepts such as verifiable credentials, decentralized identifiers, identity wallets, and other blockchain capabilities can really help with this shift and give individuals more control over how and with whom their identity information is shared.
Data privacy and information sharing are also key considerations for organizations, especially given regulations such as GDPR. Cryptography, zero-knowledge proofs, selective information disclosure, and specialized sidechain implementations can really facilitate the creation of what we call privacy by design, right, solutions. Advancements in secure multi-party computational, encryption, and the use of trusted execution environments also offer promise for managing identity and privacy for enterprises.
How should enterprises view the application of NFTs and other types of tokens?
Tokens in all shapes and forms, whether NFTs or other types, represent a huge opportunity for the enterprise, right? The regulation and legal considerations have yet to catch up with this new concept, but tokens on a blockchain could be used to represent and govern unique, decentralized, secure, verifiable, and transparent digital products for ownership, decentralized finance, customer engagements, or the economics behind the metaverse.
That's very true. Yeah, tokens are not just about music and art, although that's what a lot of people have heard about. They can provide organizations with benefits, new business models, including things like verifiable ownership, always-on global accessibility, decentralization with no middleman, flexible finance, and really what is most interesting is really this idea of complete programmability. Risks do exist, however, so be aware of these, but opportunities do exist for almost any vertical. delivering financial products and services to any user with essentially an internet connection, along with a cryptocurrency wallet, also suggests that things like loans and different kinds of services could be made available to people who are not previously able to access these types of products. So it really is an exciting concept, an exciting notion for us going forward. What should we be watching for as blockchain continues to evolve? There's a number of areas that are really interesting for us to watch and monitor as blockchain continues to evolve. I tend to look at it as 2 or 3 different categories. One is this item, or the very fact that blockchains really do collect substantial amounts of data. And the ability to derive insights from this data will be very, very important as enterprises look to better understand both network and participant behavior. We can use a blockchain to also support things like data privacy, integrity, secure analytical model usage. This will all continue to evolve as blockchain technology evolves, including the use of blockchain in constructs such as data marketplaces and with techniques such as federated and swarm learning. And then finally, from my perspective, there will never really be only one blockchain network. And so the ability for blockchain networks to integrate or interoperate will become more important. And this capability will be key to the success of emerging concepts and technologies such as self-sovereign identity, Web3, decentralized finance, and even the metaverse.
Very true. Speaking of Web3 and the metaverse, right? We're seeing how this evolution of common internet technologies happens, a shift from the control of the centralized few to a more open and decentralized internet shared by all. The individuals will retain ownership of the data, and the value of any generated content and data will be realized and concretized by all parties, right? For example, one good example is decentralized finance, right, or DeFi for short. While I don't think we will replace the current internet, Web 2.0 technology stack anytime soon, it is likely to be augmented, right, and complemented eventually by Web3 capabilities, such as self-sovereign identity, programmable assets, DeFi, and other decentralized services. This will, I think, naturally extend to the metaverse, right, where multiple open interconnected worlds will emerge, and people can interact freely and engage outside the control within or outside of a central organization.
All very, very good points. I mean, there's no doubt that blockchain is an exciting and evolving area of technology. It offers substantial potential for both the enterprise and the individual. And really, when you look at it, the technology itself has only been around for a relatively short period of time, especially when compared to other technologies out there. And the rapid pace of change and innovation is quite amazing to watch. So definitely looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in the future. This is one of those areas where blockchain won't necessarily exist alone, but it can play a role in the next generation of enterprise technologies and business models. And to learn more, we do cover these topics a lot more in our book. So be sure to check that out, where you can read and kind of do a deeper dive in each one of these topics. Thank you.